Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. I hope you're doing well in your respective space. I apologize. I wasn't able to come online for the past few weeks to share my video on the last session that we had on the INDECO Pathways Development Program due to network connectivity. The network here in Dogura is quite challenging, especially with the weather. Alright, so today we're going to talk more on personal brand, but this time mostly focusing on reputation management and credibility. So, what is your personal brand? So, your personal brand refers to how you present yourself to the world, both online and offline. Most times, it is the image that a lot of people associate with you. So, the image that you put out there online and offline is what other people associate with. So, that's what they think about when your name is called in rooms. So, that is your personal brand. Alright, so what is reputation management? So, reputation management refers to what people believe to be true about you. So, this can be based on their experiences, their observations, or what they've heard from other people. And this may be true or not true, but it is what these people believe to be true about you. So, a lot of times, in most cases, our reputation is built over time through years of experience, years of exposure, but it only takes seconds to break down. That's why it's really important to, take care of your reputation, especially for professionals in a particular field. So, yeah, like I mentioned, reputation is very important and it takes years and years to build, but it only takes seconds to break down. So, in this digital world, your reputation matters, and it does not matter only offline, but it matters also online. The things that you share, how you carry yourself, your posts, your comments on other people's posts, that also can be referred to as your reputation, how you carry yourself both online and offline. So, there are a number of components that make up a good reputation, or that are often qualities of having a good reputation. And the first one is reliability. So, a lot of people that have good reputations are people that are reliable, people that you can rely on. So, when they say something, when they say that they will do something, they will do it. And there is no question about that. So they are reliable. The second one is integrity. So integrity is, being true to yourself, being true to your surrounding, and taking responsibility for your actions. The third one is behavior under pressure. How do you work when you are pressured? How do you work when you're under stress? How do you work when you have anxiety? All of this. How do you work under pressure? And the fourth one is the most obvious one, which is consistency. People who have a good reputation often are consistent. So they're able to do things that they say that they would do in the time that they say they would do. So they are consistent in almost everything that they do. And a lot of times, this is something that we struggle with. I myself struggle with consistency I have been struggling with it for a while now, but I'm hoping that I am improving in that area. And finally, communication. People who have a good reputation often have a way of communicating with other people. So they have a very well clear sense of how they communicate with other people. So, when it comes to building a reputation, it can be really, really tough, especially in today's digital world where people are very critical of how one person carries themselves around and how they decide to do the things that they do. So, even if it's none of someone else's business, they will still have something to say. They're very critical about, one's progress. So here are a few practical tips that can be helpful to you, and I'm mostly referring to young people, that can be useful to manage your reputation. So, and I'm really thankful that I went through this PowerPoint. I have not attended the session because of internet issues, but I went through the PowerPoint, and I was really, really inspired, I would say, by everything that I was going through, especially this particular part, tips on how to help you to manage your reputation. All right, so the first one is to Google yourself, which sounds a little bit funny, but you Google yourself and see what comes up first. So, what appears first is your reputation online. That's what people in the online space see about you. And the second one is to use a consistent profile photo across all your social media accounts or your platforms. And this is something that I see in a lot of us, where we have a different profile photo for LinkedIn, let's say. Maybe that's a more professional one. And then we have a different profile photo for Facebook, and then Instagram. So, a way to also manage your reputation is to have a consistent profile photo across all your social media platforms. It helps to build trust and recognition, especially for young people who are looking for opportunities. Yeah. The third one is to create your social media. So, in this age, many employers look at our social media for credibility. So, it has become, in most cases, more or less criteria for employment. So, you know, it's important to remove inappropriate content, or, limit how much you share unnecessary stuff on Facebook or on social media for that matter. And also important to use privacy settings so that people who are friends with you or who follow you are the only ones who are able to see what you post online. In that way, your reputation doesn't get destroyed or tarnished by someone who's just looking for something to keep them entertained online. All right, number four is to speak positively of others. A lot of times we talk about different things and we do different things. So it's important to, in order to build your reputation, to speak positively of others. Because when you do speak negatively about others, that also ruins your reputation as an individual. And finally, is to say thank you often. This shows that you're grateful for anything that comes your way. So, these are the ways to manage your reputation as an individual. Alright, so now we will move on to credibility, which is another aspect or a very important aspect of personal branding. So, credibility is when someone else's trusts your ability and your integrity. So, it makes people believe in you. Credibility, the way you present yourself, it makes people believe in your ability. That's credibility. When you have credibility, you are competent, you are consistent, and you have a good character, which means that you communicate clearly and with clarity. And oftentimes, you tend to articulate your words very well when you're speaking to an audience. Alright, so tips to build your credibility. So, there are a few ways that us, especially young people, can use to build our credibility, especially those of us who are looking for opportunities and still trying to build our profile as young people. Alright, so the first one is to be honest when you don't know something, which is a lot of times a difficult thing to do. You can't be honest, especially when you don't know something. So, in a situation where you're asked something, because of the environment or maybe the people present, we just want to go ahead to answer it. when in fact we don't know much about what is being discussed or what is being asked. So it's important to be honest when you don't know something. The second one is to be on time and prepared for events. Timing and punctuality is also important in the professional space. So if there is an event and you're invited to that event, make sure that you're on time and you're prepared for that event. Number three is ask smart and relevant questions. So if there is a presentation and you wish to ask a particular question, please try your best to tailor your question to what has been presented and don't ask irrelevant questions. That also contributes to your personal brand. Number four is to follow up after networking. This mostly refers to events that you may have had the chance to attend. So, if, for example, you got someone's contact from there, it's it's important, or it would add more weight on your relation with this particular person if right after the networking you reach out to them to let them know that it was lovely to meet them, you had a good chat with them, you hope for a catch up soon, all of this. And finally, keep your digital profile updated. So a lot of us have dormant profiles in some of our social media pages. So if that is a professional platform like say LinkedIn, I would encourage you to keep that updated. Whatever you do, whatever it may be, update your profile. Make sure that your profile is active. So, what did I learn from this session? It was really unfortunate that I wasn't able to attend this session, but going through the notes that my peers have also gone through, I learned that having a good reputation matters just as much as building credibility. So, my first 3 years of uni, as much as I regret to say that I have not been able to build a good reputation, I now realize the importance of building reputation and building credibility. So at that time, I did not even know that there was such a thing as personal branding or credibility or having a good profile on LinkedIn. But now I do. And not only does reputation and credibility, make you stand out in a competitive job market, it also shows who you are as an individual. So as you continue to practice to build a good reputation, it becomes part of you, and that's where discipline comes in. So that's when you're able to, not tell yourself to do this, but you just do it because you have already built that discipline over the years. All right, I hope that you have learned something from this particular session that we had on reputation management and credibility in relation to personal branding.